When it comes to keeping you and your business safe, Bay Alarm brings the best, like offering virtual security consultations using your mobile phone. Just visit bayalarm.com and their security specialists will set everything up. It's one more way Bay Alarm puts the pro in protection. Because if your security's not the best, you're not secure. Go to bayalarm.com/KNBR and schedule your free virtual security consultation today. Now, more than ever, Bay Alarm. ACO 28CCL 880138.
Now, back to Murph and Mac on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
All right, what a treat. You know, I've known Janie McCauley for years and years and years. We just never had her on the show. You know what I mean? I feel like the Associated Press writers who do all the heavy lifting don't get any of the love. So it's time to shine some love on Janie McCauley for the Associated Press because she writes the really important stuff and the all-encompassing stuff, and then we wind up having the people from the Chronicle and the Athletic, you know? So, Janie, this is your time on the Murph and Mac Show on the UMA guest line. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, Janie.
Good morning, you guys. Thank you for having me. What a treat.
Yeah.
It's true, right? The AP doesn't get the love. You guys need the love, right?
We don't need the love. We just keep going each day and try to keep everybody informed on everything.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
But thank you.
That's
What
very
a busy sports week, huh?
It is. It is. By the way, I just want to make sure we didn't pull you out of the bay, right? Janie is she'll be swimming out in the open waters. Now, we didn't pull you out of Alcatraz or anything, did we?
No, I went in the bay yesterday. I just got out of the pool, so
Okay.
I made sure I was out by the time I needed to talk to you guys.
So you have
Janie, when you're in the bay, you're going wetsuit, I would assume, right?
I did yesterday, but on Sunday I did not. It was up to about 63, 64. So,
wow, that's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Janie's legit, man. So you have the positive endorphins of a post-swim glow right now, right?
That's a good feeling. Yeah.
Well, talking to you guys gives me the
There you go, Janie. There you go. Well, listen, you have been all over this stuff that's going on here, both A's, Warriors, Giants, whatever. I want to start with the Warriors because, you know, this has been such a strange year, and the fans weren't allowed back until recently. But you've been on it, and you've followed this up and this down, and I hear you on the Zooms. You're always asking Steve the questions and Steph and et cetera. I would just say, Janie, in your career now, is what Steph's doing this year probably the single greatest thing you've seen in sports. Not only that, and here we get to just going to gush on the guy. We're not going to rip him. But how he treats you guys, too, in the media, his perspective, his thoughts. What's it been like covering him?
He is one of the top humans I've covered in almost 30 years of doing this. And that's on and off the court, right? I mean, he's been spectacular on the court, but then he takes off his jersey, game-worn jersey, and gives it to a nurse from Summit Alta Bates a couple weeks ago who had been wearing Steph's jersey under her scrubs for throughout the pandemic. So it's everything like that. I mean, that's just one example.
Right.
But yes, it's been thrilling, and you know, he kind of joked before this season began that he might play till he's almost 40, and he's 33 and at the top of his game and looking like he's not slowing down. So why not?
You know, Janie, there's really no right or wrong answer to this question, but it's something Murph has mentioned a few times recently, and I just want to kind of bounce this off you and see what your view of this is, where Murph has said, you know, if Steph Curry keeps on going the way he's going, everything he does on the court, you just mentioned his personality off the court, he's an incredible human being by all accounts. Do you think possibly, and Murph has said, you know, at some point, he might surpass Joe Montana as the most beloved Bay Area athlete of all time. Sounds crazy when you first hear it, but then you think about it, and you're like, you know, Murph, that's not a bad take. I mean, what do you think of that, Janie?
I think it could happen. I mean, he's going to be an icon, mentioned perhaps like Willie Mays one day. You know, it's everything he does. I mean, whether it's feeding lunches to kids who need them in Oakland to hosting a YouTube with Dr. Fauci last spring when we needed that as a society. And so, but then look what he's doing on the floor, and he uplifts his teammates. And they just won 2 games with him not shooting well from 3-point land the last 2 games. And so, imagine he gets his stroke back here the next couple nights, and they may just put on a little show here the
next couple of weeks. I mean, do you feel like if the team you're watching has a chance to knock off a Utah or a Phoenix in a 7-game series?
That would be tough, but they have an 8-man rotation right now, so they may get Eric Pascal back tomorrow night, or if not then by Sunday, Steve Kerr said. So that would help. Damian Lee is a big question mark with coming back from COVID. I wouldn't count on that, but whether they can knock off one of those teams in a 7-game series, or at least make things interesting, could very well happen.
Man, it's very exciting. Warriors off tonight. They'll be home Friday night against New Orleans, and then Sunday against Memphis, which is maybe the game that determines the 8-9 seed, depending on how Memphis does against the Kings tonight and tomorrow night. Janie McCauley, Associated Press, who covers it all. And you'll find her at Oracle Park tracking Gabe Kapler's Giants. You'll find her at Chase Center tracking Steve Kerr's Warriors. But I got to ask you about the A's, Janie, and, how surprised or not surprised you were about the story this week about them saying that MLB is going to help them search for alternatives to Howard Terminal. Now, you've been, following this from the jump, kind of when they said, hey, we're going to build at Howard Terminal, and you've seen all the hurdles from the city council, et cetera, and the Coliseum being ruled out as a site. Just give us your download on that, Janie. How have you reported on that in the sense of, does it feel like this is a real possibility or just an idle threat in negotiations?
It's really hard to say for sure, but Dave Kaval went to the city of Oakland in January, he told me, to say, hey, we would like to get a vote on where you stand on this proposal, which is for a ballpark, privately financed ballpark that'll be just slightly over $1 billion, and then this whole, $450 million in community benefits is what they're calling it, and they would like an answer from the city of Oakland, and I think this is perhaps a way to get their answer sooner than later. But if what Dave Kaval said is, even if they get an answer from the city council, let's say next month, before the council breaks for summer, groundbreaking on a ballpark at Howard Terminal is 2 years out minimum. So the lease at the Coliseum is up in 2024. And then you've got groundbreaking, let's say, in 2023 on the Howard Terminal project. That's the reality of an opening of a ballpark is 2027 now. So they don't want to play in the Coliseum that long. So I think they are they're forced into right now looking at all options, because this is not the timeline they envisioned.
No.
Wow, this is something, I'm looking forward to the reporting on this going forward, too, because this is now becoming a thing. It's a real thing. And Janie McCauley of the AP helping to cover that, along with the Warriors. And then, Janie, because you cover it all, I wanted to ask you about Gabe Kapler's Giants. It was no secret that when he was hired, it was not a popular hire. You were there, I think, on opening day, opening press conference, et cetera, and you went through Bruce Bochy for all those years you covered Boch, and heck, 3 parades will win you a fair amount of love in the community. But I'm wondering your observations of covering Gabe as a manager, sort of, I don't want to compare him to Bochy, but like how different it is with Bochy, and also how surprised you are by the success they're having.
Well, first of all, we haven't had a lot of time around Kapler in the dugout yet, right? Let's be real. Like we would sit there with Bruce Bochy. Murph, you guys both. Well, you both were around there a lot when we just would sit around and hear his stories. Mm-hmm. So Bruce had a lot more years. Felipe had a lot more years. Dusty had a lot more years where we had wonderful stories. We haven't had that opportunity with Kapler yet, and he doesn't have the history to give us those stories. So it's going to be different. He has been nothing but thoughtful in all of my dealings with him so far. And again, we haven't had any face-to-face for a long term. So that's challenging. trying to engage and connect over these Zoom calls is really tough. But look, he's gotten a lot from these veterans right now. Okay, you used to hear Bruce Bochy say, "Okay, we need to have a handful of guys have a really good season," and right now, out of the gates, you're seeing the top veteran guys coming out strong, and that's Buster Posey after opting out last season, coming back and his hip feeling good at last, and Belt and Crawford and and Longoria and some of these guys who have dealt with injuries in recent years too are playing well. So they're getting some steady, consistent play from a lot of different players and pitchers, and that's winning baseball.
Yeah, it's been really, truly surprising. Dodgers and Padres are supposed to be the only teams in the West. They're both looking up at the Giants past Mother's Day, too. So, all right, well, good stuff, Janie. I feel like we can talk to you about anything, really, whether it's base swimming, Warriors. What did we miss? Niners?
Yeah, what did we leave out?
Actually, Janie, you don't do the Niners, do you?
I haven't been doing them as much lately. My husband, Josh Dubow, has been handling the NFL, which has taken a little pressure off me and given me, more time to focus on baseball stuff and Warriors, which is nice.
So when you and Josh have dinner with Dan Brown and Susan Slusser, it is the power, like super force, wonder powers activate best married couple sports writers, going, right?
Well, thank you. That's if we could ever find a night on the schedule.
No, there's no nights.
The problem.
No, there's no nights.
Yeah.
That's impossible, right? Yeah.
It might have to be a press box.
Yeah. Box lunch.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. Bowl of peanuts, yeah.
Box lunch and Dan brings the beer or something.
There you go.
But,
Dan brings the puns is what he brings there.
He sure does. He's really good at those.
He's very good. Hey, and by the way, I'm looking you up. I know you won the Murrow College Hall of Achievement Award last year, right? I just want to congratulate you. Your Washington State alma mater honored you, right?
Thank you. Yes, they did, and that was, Keith Jackson's in that group, and so that's above and beyond what I ever dreamed of. I didn't even know this existed, really, and it was an absolute honor that they even followed my career after I left Pullman. So. Thank you for mentioning that.
No, it's awesome. And also, just got to note, because you're a Coug, Washington State Cougar, where there's one more famous one in the Bay, and I'm wondering, now you're swimming in the Bay. Does Clay's kayak come into your view?
Right.
And you guys have the special Washington State shout out there. Clay in the kayak, you in the Bay.
Clay might have a horn on the kayak that plays the Washington State theme song. Yeah, or fight song. Yeah.
Well, and my first cousin Katie, her husband Kyle Smith is now the head coach up there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Clay, he went from USF, and so Clay swam in the Bay about a month ago or a month and a half ago, and said he loved it, and he committed. He committed publicly to going with me. So I'm getting him off the kayak and into the water. And
I love that.
How good a story would that be? You got to write that. That'll be a great feature, right?
Yeah, well, Bruce Bochy is planning to do it too. So once we get it together,
whoa! Are you serious?
Yes, he is. He needs a little hip procedure first, and then once he's medically cleared, we will schedule.
Boch, Clay, and Janie in the Bay.
Oh, this is
that
hell.
It?
I mean.
Yeah, we'll need some spotters, you guys, if you want to.
Count me in. I wouldn't miss it. I'm there. I would love to.
That's incredible. You just got us going here. That's going to be some riffing on the show there, Janie, about Boch in the wetsuit.
Oh.
All right. Be good.
Back from the paddleboard.
Yes.
Listen, keep writing the best stuff going. You're crushing it. I love when I read a Janie McCauley story, I know I'm reading the real deal. So keep continued success.
Thanks, Janie.
Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, she's the best, Janie McCauley. When you see Janie McCauley, Associated Press, you're reading the real deal.
An incredibly pleasant conversation that was. Makes me wonder
she's just really
why
talented.
we don't talk to her more.
Well, I guess we will now.
Yeah, I think we probably should.
Because I told you, the AP gets no love. You never call the Associated Press.
That's going to change. We're going to change that right here, right now, because that was I enjoyed Janie.
She said, well, I don't need the accolades. We're just here to inform.
That makes her all the more endearing, though. You know what I mean? Like, that makes her even more likable. And by the way, dude, you're so right. Bochy in the Bay. Well, I'm swimming with the dolphins
Jimmy
now.
and Joey by the
holding on
Bay.
to like a dolphin fin, getting swam around. Yeah. They're all flocking to boats. You know, like the dolphins are communicating. They're like squeaking at them and stuff. Hey, fellas, yeah.
Bochy and Clay in the bay?
Something about Bochy and sea life together.
This is Jimmy and Joey by the Bay, where they go watch Bochy and Clay swim?
I'm just a giant sea turtle.
On a very special Jimmy and Joey by the Bay. Jimmy and Joey spot for Clay and Bochy and Janie in the water.
What is that, some coral? Let's go take a look at that. Yeah, follow me. You know what I mean? He's got the snorkel on. Come on.
Yeah, I saw Finding Nemo.
What is that?
I know the deal.
What are these, barnacles? Grab some of those barnacles.
Well, where's Ellen DeGeneres? Just keep swimming. Yeah. All right. Wow. That was a hell of a bomb she dropped at the end there. Boch and Clay in the wetsuits.
Can you see Bochy in the wetsuit, just like kind of doing the
entry,
walk like into the bay?
The entry.
Just like walking into the water, dude.
Oh, man, that's incredible. All right. Now you guys know why you tune in. You get information you never thought you'd get. Daily Dose of Dubs.
Doses.
And then Kevin Pelton from ESPN talking NFL schedule to wrap it up on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
When it comes to keeping an eye on your business, Bay Alarm brings the best, like a professionally monitored video verification system proven to catch crooks and prevent false alarms. It's one more way we keep our eyes on what you prize. Because if your security is not the best, you're not secure. Go to bayalarm.com/KNBR video for a special offer to all new business customers. Now, more than ever, Bay Alarm, ACO 28CCL 880138.